of God wherever I am. God is. We are the light of God. We are the love of God. We are the power of God. We are the presence of God wherever we are. God is, and all is well.
All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I have not heard that song before.
That's Old Unity song.
Yes, I have not heard that song. I'm sorry I left everything that I was supposed to bring down here on the thing, so I'm going to grab it now because I was talking to Linda, was not paying attention to what I was supposed to be doing. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center of Unity. How's everybody doing? I'll just start again. Fantastic. It's good to see everybody. I see some new faces here. Welcome, welcome. We are excited to have you here. We are about free of judgment and full of love. That's what we do here at Center of Unity. And if you wanted to wrap it up, that's what we're all about. So we're excited again today. I understand there's a football game. Someone told me there was a football game today. I thought football ended like back in January when the Cowboys lost. But Sherry's still mad about it. She's just now kind of getting over that loss to Green Bay. But anyway, I guess there's a football game today. We're all excited about that. If you're joining us online, we want to say welcome to you as well. We are happy that you're joining us. And if you'd put a comment or let us know that you're with us this morning, that would be fantastic. We're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Your grace is enough. Lori was on the wrong page. It's all right. We're going to start with Byron. Your grace is enough. Sing it with us.
Great is your faithfulness, oh God. You wrestle with a restless heart. You lead us by still waters into mercy.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good to see all of these beautiful faces here that came out in this windy, chilly, rainy Sunday morning. And for all of you who are at home, and I can finally see my comments and see all of you saying hi, especially the Metaphysical Bible Group, Julie and Ginny, who live in different parts of the country, and Janetta and Jean and Larry. They're all out there cozy in their comfy clothes, sipping their coffee. But we don't judge. We don't judge here. Getting ready, I guess, for that Super Bowl Sunday. And the good news is, if you haven't heard, Taylor Swift's plane did land. So she'll be there. It's not a problem. It is wonderful. It's wonderful to have this community where we get to come together, where we get to experience the energy of God. There's something that's just palatable when you can come in. You know, we're talking about unity traditions today, and that tradition of holding hands at the end and swaying to the peace song, it's just something that if you don't get here often, please come every now and then, because you just can't replace that without being here in person. So we're grateful, and we are grateful for the ways that we can continue to connect with people around the country and around the Metroplex who otherwise just couldn't make their way here. However you join us today, join us with an open heart, with an open mind, and with the energy of music as we sing again.
Are your tabernacle. Glory to the Lord on high. God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, holy, Lord of heaven and earth, Lord of heaven and earth. Early in the morning, I will celebrate the light. When I stumble in the darkness, I will call your name by night. God of wonders beyond our galaxy, you are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy. The universe declares your majesty. You are holy, holy. God of wonders beyond our galaxy. You are holy, holy, precious Lord, reveal your heart to
Good morning. How are you?
So my name's Grant Trevithick. This is Indomitable Mary, the lady that runs this church along with Reverend Taylor. So we're your prayer team today. We're here to serve and to be with you. After the service, if you need prayer, we'll be right over here. We'll be happy to support you in whatever you need. In the meantime,
Are you reading the short?
sorry,
Well, he's got such a loud voice.
excuse me. Centered in divine strength, I am confident and peaceful.
If I find myself struggling to bear the weight of a heavy load, if I am wondering how much farther I can travel or how much longer I can carry on, I rely on my spiritual strength to keep me going most of the time. When I align my thoughts with this divine gift and not on the weight I carry or the distance I travel, I am tapping into the power of God expressing as me. Through divine strength, I am renewed and refreshed. I have everything I need to stay the course. Knowing the presence of God comes to me through many channels. I may ask for help and accept it graciously when it comes. I give myself breaks and make time for prayer and my other spiritual practices. Through it all, I remain strong and grateful for God within me.
From Ephesians 6:10, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
And as we have our healing prayer in a special way, I would just ask you to surround and enfold Dwayne and Arlene Taylor. They've had to travel unexpectedly to Idaho to support her mom, who is in critical condition right now. So we just see them filled with that strength and that comfort and that light of God.
We know that sometimes the conditions in our life and the experiences appear very real, sometimes very, very real. But we know that there is one and only one truth in the world, and that is God the divine. So just like you can pull back the drapes of the Wizard of Oz and see the truth, know that God is always there, ready to take your hands, ready to hold you, ready to give you the strength and wisdom to get through whatever you need. So we see all these prayer requests being fulfilled. We see all the struggles and all the agita and all the upset in your life being settled. And we know that God will shine through and that everything will be absolutely perfect. Amen.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think that God was the sun. God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hand What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that leads all creation. God is creator. God makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me. Oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. Yes, God needs us to shine its light. Sing it with me. God needs us to shine its light. One more time. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So let's all sing. Use me. Oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
I love it when synchronicities happen together. I'm not going to get into the story, but it's just really interesting how things just seem to flow when you're in that flow. So today we're wrapping up our series on Back to the Unity Basics. And I wanted to shed some light on the Sunday traditions that are unique in many ways to Unity communities. You know, anytime you have an organization, whether it's spiritual or otherwise, over time, there seems to be a certain solidifying of it. No matter how free-flowing it started out, it begins to have a more solid surrounding. And it's true for Unity. As free as and individualistic as Unity people and Unity communities are, there are things over time that have come to, in many ways, define us, or at least you are accustomed to whatever Unity church you go to having that same similar experience. Unity's been around since 1889, and when the Fillmores started this, they were just discovering through their own spiritual study and through their own healing experiences some of these principles. And it certainly didn't begin or even have the vision that this would somehow be a group of churches or that there would be this whole structure that would be built out of their ideas. The very first service was in 1890, and it was a healing service that Myrtle invited people over to their home because this was her passion, to support other people in experiencing their own healing. And for more than 135 years, Silent Unity, which is that prayer arm of Unity, has been supporting people. They now get way in excess of a couple million prayer requests a year, and most of those come from people outside of Unity churches or different Unity communities. In fact, Charles was pretty resistant. He didn't want to start a new denomination. He wasn't looking to create some big structure. He would encourage people to go and attend whatever church that they had traditionally belonged to. And then he would have like a study group in the afternoon. It's like, bring the message that you heard and let's see if we can understand it in a metaphysical way, in a new way. But eventually, the demand became so great that they built the first church on Tracy Street. It's still there. I think it's still open. The Reverend Greg Nettler has been passionate about it since the 80s of retaining that part of our history. And now there are, and since that time, thousands of churches that have been created, or at least a little more than 1,000 these days. The form continued as it got bigger and bigger. So then they had to start putting some things into place. And they started ordaining Unity ministers and adding and suggesting different elements to support a service experience for people. And again, as different as Unity churches might feel, the message might be different, the music might be different, there was some common components that seem to emerge as being present in each one. One of those is certainly been a foundational part of this church since its beginning, which is the peace song that we sing at the end of every service. And I learned some new things about this. I love when I'm exploring new stuff because I get to learn new stuff. You know, the first time I ever really remember being engaged with it was coming to my first Unity church. But it has origins that I never knew about. In the summer of 1955, lyricist, and she was also an actress, Jill Jackson Miller, and her musician husband, Cy, were listening to this radio program. And the radio program at that time, the theme was that for peace to become a reality, it must first begin in the hearts and in the practice of each individual. One of her daughters, who was a teenager at the time, said that her mom woke up one morning and this phrase, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me," was running through. And so she and her husband set about putting this to music. I didn't know that Jill and her husband were part of the Unity movement, that she was first introduced to Unity through her physical therapist after an attempted suicide, trying to live in the 50s as a single mom and barely being able to make ends meet. And Jill credited Silent Unity and New Thought principles with helping her regain her life. So this peace song now has been translated into many languages. It's been heard by worldwide audiences, both large and small. It was the final song performed at the Christmas holidays illumination at Epcot Center. It was performed for Pope Francis at the World Trade Center site in New York City in 2015. It's in many different Christian hymnals now in churches across. They've adopted it and use it as part of their services. And it found even greater popularity in 1993 when Vince Gill featured it on a Christmas album. And a much wider audience became aware of it. Now, what often happens, at least in Unity, probably not in some of the other traditions, is we take something and then we mess with it. We like to tweak it and change it. And so the "Let There Be Peace on Earth" original lyrics go like this. There's one part that's been tweaked, and I've seen it done so many different ways. But it says, "With God, our Creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony." Close, but a little. We sing, "With God as our Father, family all are we. Let us walk with each other." When I went to serve the Unity community in Roanoke, Virginia, they had changed it, so instead of "let there be," they would say "yes." So, yes, there is peace on earth. And yes, it begins with me. And yeah, so they added yes instead of let because they wanted it to be affirmative. It takes a little while when you go from one Unity church to the other. They say the blessing is a little different, the way they sing songs is a little different, but it has the same energy. It's just a unique reflection of the community and the leadership of that community. And following the peace song, what do we have? The prayer for protection. Byron sang it for us earlier today as we started the service. And the prayer for protection is something that's been in the Unity community since the 1940s. It was written in 1940 by Unity minister and author and poet James Dillett Freeman. Some of you might be a little familiar with this. And he was asked to write this during a Christmas service to address the growing war that was happening in Europe at that time. Something that could help the people move through that with a greater sense of connection to God and to that peace and to the love and to the courage and support of it. So in its original form, this is what he wrote. He wrote, "The light of Christ directs me, the love of Christ enfolds me, the power of Christ protects me, the presence of Christ upholds me." And it seemed to resonate with so many people that they came back to him and they said, we really would like to offer this in a greater way rather than just at this Christmas service. And so he thought about it and he wanted to make it more universal. He wanted to make it a prayer so that anybody, regardless of what their theological beliefs were, could embrace it. And so he changed the words a little bit to what we know now as the light of God. He just changed the Christ to God, which was more universal. And then he got inspired a little while longer, a few years into this, that it needed maybe a little something else. And so he added a fifth line that said, "Wherever I am, God is." And then over time, especially once he passed, we started to even we added a sixth line. And what's the sixth line? "And all is well." This prayer has been printed and distributed and used around the world many times over. It's probably the most prolific unity prayer out there in the world, whether people know that it has its roots in unity. It's been in hundreds of different publications with no connection to unity, and millions of people have carried it around. They produced all these little cards, and they would put it in their pocket, or at the time what they called their pocket books, for the women carrying purses. On the very first flight to the moon, on Apollo 11, astronaut Colonel Edwin Buzz Aldrin carried the prayer for protection with him. And he did not know James Dillett Freeman. He wasn't even aware of unity. It was just one of those prayers that he had found, and he brought it with him so that he could feel that same connection and know those words were with him as part of that. It's been translated into most languages, and it's another one of those traditions that you will find almost every Unity church ends their service with the prayer for protection. It's not a prayer to God out there. Rather, it is a prayer that invites us to remember that God within us, to realign with that inner divinity, the Christ within, whatever name we want to call that, so that we can tap into greater spiritual understanding, which is the light of God, that we can remember that there is unlimited supply, which is the love of God, that there is intense creative potential within us, which is the power of God, and the awareness of our true being, which is that very presence within us. It's not something that we just project out there. It's something that we want to embody in here. So another change that's happened over time, at least it's happened in this ministry, you won't find it as often, is adding this second line to each of the lines of the prayer for protection. And we now say that the light of God surrounds us, I am the light of God. But here's another way. Unity on the Bay in Miami, I ran across this as another way that they often say it. Nick, you can put that up. It says, the light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are that power. We are that presence. And then they end it with, we are divine. So that creative energy is hard at work within Unity communities about how this feels best for them. Today, I want to do something a little different because when we have this, the light of God surround me, I'd like to do it as a call and a response, if you'd be willing to play with me on this. So I'm going to say, the light of God surrounds us, and you're going to say, I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. So we're going to have a little play to see how that feels today, because, you know, we're always changing and evolving, so we have to be in that energy. You know, even after 20 years, several more years than 20 years, it still brings a joy to my face. It is, I don't know, an indescribable sense of connection when I see at the end of the service everyone standing and holding hands and smiling at each other and singing these words together and affirming these statements of truth together. There's just nothing else like it. So in my ministry, even though I want the community to have a big voice in how it is that we do Sunday services, it's probably not going to go away, because I'm going to be one that'll be really reluctant to let go of that last little piece. So today, as we move into our meditation, we want to take this prayer for protection and see how we can experience that and embody that within us. So I would just invite you to just set everything aside for this moment. This is that sacred time where we, for just a couple of minutes, want to bring all that we've heard and all that we know and all that we desire to experience into this present moment. You might want to close your eyes just so that you can have a greater experience of this inner light and life, expressing as love and power through us. Claim for yourself in the very heart of your being that I am the light of God. And then listen for how that divine energy is calling you to express as light. Just see if anything arises out of that knowing that that light of God is seeking to express through you. And then see if you can feel that love of God enfolding you, infusing you, awakening every cell of your being, so that you can claim, I am the love of God in its full measure. And then just listen for a minute to see if there's something stirring within you of how to be a greater expression of that love into the world. Now see if you can't claim the very power of God as your very own in this moment. That power of God guides us, protects us, and lives within us. What is calling for you to claim greater power in the expression of God's love and God's light? I am the very presence of God. Silently repeat that. See if you can't get that deep into your heart, deep into your gut, into your soul. I am the presence of God. God, how would you have me be a presence in the world? And regardless of what might be happening in your life, in the greater community, in the world, know that God is right in the midst, because God is in the midst of each and every soul. God is in the midst of Mother Earth. God is in the midst of the unfolding universe. And we are a part of that divine unfolding. Take a deep breath and see if you can't feel that awareness that indeed all is well. And whenever you're ready, you can begin to bring your attention back to this time and to this space, giving thanks for this beloved prayer and for the ways in which it can help us remember and support and guide us in the work that is ahead of us. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. And whenever you're ready, bring yourself back here. So as we start to wrap up the message of this morning, I wanted to share another foundational part of unity, and that is silent unity and its offshoot, the daily word. As I mentioned, for more than 135 years, silent unity, and this is the beautiful tower in that building at Unity Village that's located in Unity Village. It's around Lee's Summit, but it's its own incorporated village, has been the prayer arm, and that light has been constantly shining, not in that one particular place, but in wherever that silent unity location was, 24/7, to remind the people that there is that prayer energy that is being held by the people who support silent unity around the clock. All of the prayer requests that we receive here are also then embodied by the prayer ministry of silent unity for 30 days. And out of silent unity, there arose this divine idea of a little daily prayer booklet, something that could help inspire people, that could help start their day off right by reading this. Daily Word is now read in more than 100 countries. It's been translated into 4 languages. It is celebrating its 100th year this year. And it has been in continuous publication from its beginning. It has tens of million readers around the world. The vast majority of those may never know unity and the place from which it comes from, but it blesses their lives each day. I can remember back when I was working in corporate world, before I ever knew about unity, seeing these on people's desks that they would bring, and that they would have their time where they'd go through and read, and especially over lunchtime, and just have that be a reset for their day. As in all things, we have them in print. You can actually get them in our bookstore here. And there's an app. There's an app for everything now. It's a new app I just discovered. It's called be.unity.org. And in that app, it's a web-based app. You can submit prayer requests directly to Silent Unity. You can read the Daily Word with subscription. It is a subscription-based offering. And one of the things that I loved about how long this has been going on is that you can look in their archives and look up on any given date since 1924 and see what the Daily Word was that day. It used to be you had to go to Unity Village and you had to go to their library, and there was huge racks, and you had to find the literal pamphlet, Daily Word, and then go to their copier. And I did this. I did this back in like 2000. And I did it for my daughter, for her birthday. I made a bunch of guys. Here's your Daily Word on the day you were born. But here's the Daily Word on the day that I was born in 1959. And it just resonates with me still. I claim this. This is what the universe was claiming for me on that day. It says, there is nothing to fear, Through Christ in me, I meet life courageously. I am strong and courageous. I meet life victoriously. Nothing can daunt me, for I have the Spirit of Christ within me. I do not depend on other persons, nor do I encourage other persons to depend on me. Rather, I depend on the Christ Spirit within me, and I pray for other people to depend on that same indwelling Christ. If a situation appears to be unjust, I realize that there is nothing to fear. I can trust the Spirit of Christ working in each person to inspire to deal justly with every other person concerned. And if circumstance is challenging, I remember through Christ in me, I am equipped to meet life courageously. When I meet life this way, nothing can burden me. I walk with a light step and a happy heart. If there are changes that shake my faith, I turn to the Christ within and find a new sense of security. There is nothing to fear. Through Christ in me, I meet life courageously. I was blessed with that on the day I was born. So I just encourage you, if you're curious, go. You can, again, any date in history since 1924, you can go and read what the daily word was that day. You know, we're living in a very fast evolving world where change just seems to be occurring at lightning speed. At least it feels that way to me. Some things fade away, like we used to sing the Lord's Prayer here. I can still remember you hitting that high note every Sunday. Some things change form, other things emerge. Traditions, the ones that are traditions for us, they may not be the traditions of future generations, keep us grounded. They remind us that even in times of rapid change, we can move through it all when we stay humble and kind.
Don't forget the keys under the mat. When childhood stars shine, always stay humble and kind. Go to church because your mom says to. Visit Grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, but here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference between sleeping with someone, oh, and sleeping with someone you love. I love you ain't no pickup line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. the dreams you're dreaming come to you, and the word put in is realized. Let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. This is the instrumental part where we wave our hands and that work right there. It's always a little awkward to stand up here during the instrumental part. Just letting you know if you ever thought about it. When it's hot, eat a root beer popsicle. Shut off the AC and let the windows roll down. Let that summer sunshine always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around. Help the next one in line, and always stay humble and kind.
That is one of my favorite songs. Well, it is our opportunity now to share of our financial gifts with our community. In just a moment, the ushers are going to invite you to come in the larger basket and receive an affirmation from the smaller one. And if you give through one of our other channels, or this isn't your Sunday to share, you can just come and be in that flow. And there's little cards you can put in, or I just like to hold my hand over it and add my energy to it as I remember how I support this community. And I also just wanted to make a quick announcement before we move into that. So next Sunday, right after service, we're going to have a short town hall. Some feedback came to us that maybe there was still some desire to have a little bit greater clarity about what it means for me to be here in a part-time manner, as I had announced at the annual meeting that I was stepping into that. And I just recognized at the annual meeting, people were hungry and it was getting late, and they may have had some questions, but they didn't want to ask them because that meant they had to stay there longer. So any questions that you might have, this is the time to do that. I'm hoping that some or all of the board will be here, but certainly I will be here to answer whatever questions that might be on your mind and give as much clarity as I can around that. So that's next Sunday, right after the service. We'll take probably maybe 10 minutes, get up, do a bio break, and then we'll come right back in so that we can get everybody out the door and off to your lunch plans or whatever the day may hold for you. All right, let us take the gifts that we're offering today, or you can just feel that energy as they're moving through the ether waves as we share them electronically and bless it together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over. Wherever we are, God.
Hear me? Oh, here I am. I couldn't hear it at first. If you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you have chosen to join us. We invite you to visit our website and fill out the Connect card. And if you're local, we invite you to visit in person. If you're visiting us in person for the first time, please complete a visitor card found on the tables with the offering baskets. And where are those? No. Aren't they in the pew in front of you? Anyway, if you can find a visitor card, fill that out. And drop it in the basket or leave it on your way out at the visitor desk. We welcome all of you. We're fortunate at Center of Unity to have people who are dedicated to adding to our experience as class facilitators. Without their leadership, we wouldn't have such classes. Workshops and book studies as Centering Prayer, Atomic Habits, Metaphysical Bible Study, Adult Sunday School, or Book Club. Each week or month, the leaders prepare discussions and slides and take time out of their lives so they can offer these activities for all of us to enjoy, learn, and grow. So, to Mark and Dawn, Norma, Sharon, Maddie, Sue, Haley, Abada, and Kenny, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity.
We have multiple corked activities to join this month. You can join us for lunch at P.F. Chang's in Grapevine or see Glorious at the Runway Theater, followed by dinner at Los Amigos in Grapevine. Our Youth Ed is organizing a stuffed animal drive from February 11th through March 31st. First responders use these animals for children during moments of distress. Donations should be new or gently loved and no larger than 12 inches. Please bring your stuffed animals to the sanctuary where they will be loved on by you until they are delivered to the kids in need. Wednesday, February 14th is the beginning of Lent this year. We'll have a self-directed symbolic sprinkling of ashes and communion with a written explanation of each element set up in the meditation room on that day. You're invited to visit between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. to take part and spend some time in meditation and contemplation. We're collecting gently used books that will be available for a love offering at our Body, Mind, Spirit Fest. Please leave donations in Fellowship Hall. All proceeds go to benefit our general fund. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, or use the COU or Venmo app. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right, well, thank everybody for joining us this week. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you back next week, and I believe we're going to sing our kids in, shall we? Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's do it again. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,
What's there?
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hey, good morning, everyone. The kids have all been very busy. The little ones read a story about mean soup, about how to deal with emotions. And then the grade school kiddos were learning about who they are and their family. And then also the bigger kids were exploring how their words have actions and consequences. And then someone wanted to share.
Today we made a model and showed how we can show love and kindness to our family. Today we made a mobile of our family.
We learned the ripple effect and that if you do one thing bad, it affects others.
All right, and starting next week, start bringing your stuffed loveys to bring into the sanctuary to give hug and loves, because then they'll after Easter they'll be sent out to the first responders to keep in their vehicles to give to children in distress.
All right, so why don't we all stand together? We're going to join hands and do our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with.
So join me as we do our prayer for protection. Let's try it as a call and response. I'm going to do the first line and then you do the second. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Now all together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I like it. I like it.